Hi, guys, and welcome to Class Rural Comedies, Facts, and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. I'll let you know up front, the only reason I put this on this video channel is because Elinor Donahue was Miss Ellie on Andy Griffith Show, and out of all the things she's done, that meant more to me than any of them. But here are iconic roles of Elinor Donahue from Father Knows Best to Star Trek. And here's what she thought of those. And we're going to start, of course, with Father Knows Best. Elinor Donahue remembers, I look back at Father Knows Best with great fondness for the group of us. We're very, very close and really liked each other. Watching the show now brings, generally speaking, happy memories. I was very critical of myself when I was young, which is probably a reason I didn't watch the show. I made myself uncomfortable. Now I can be a little bit more forgiving. The Andy Griffith Show. When I went from Father Knows Best to the Andy Griffith Show, I felt like a bird out of a nest. I didn't feel like I had all my feathers yet, and I didn't feel capable. It was the strangest feeling. I had a 3-year contract for that show, but at the end of the first year, I asked to be let out of my contract because I didn't feel that I was playing the role properly. I just didn't feel right about it. In retrospect, and from things that people have said to me, very lovely things, I was doing okay. I was just not happy camper, and there was no point in trying to continue with it. As Joan Randall on Many Happy Returns. That show came to me through friends of my husband, Harry Ackerman. We married in 1961 and had our first son together in 62, and I was retired, which is what I wanted, but Many Happy Returns sounded ideal because it was a recurring role, which meant that I would not have to work all the time. What happened more than once was that I would think I had that week off and would plan things with my son, Brian, and we would get a call on Monday morning saying, oh, we had switched the scripts, so we needed you at 2 o'clock for a read-through, and everything would get thrown off. Well, as fate would have it, I got pregnant again and was able to use the pregnancy to lead the show. Commodore Nancy Hedford's Star Trek Metamorphosis. Elinor remembers when we filmed it. Obviously, we didn't know it would go on the way it has, but Star Trek certainly became a phenomenon very early on. You could see that it was going to have legs for a long time because they would have those Star Trek conventions through the 70s. I was usually invited, but I never wanted to go because I thought, well, gee, I was only in one episode, and that doesn't seem right. But I did go to a Las Vegas convention for the show's 50th anniversary. That was quite wonderful and quite fun. What I thought was funny is that when I was there, someone asked if I felt it was strange that Ambassador Hedford would be serving coffee to the men. I told her it didn't seem strange to me at all. In this day and age, I guess you wouldn't have a female character serving if you're a big muckety-muck in whatever service it is. But doing coffee service for someone in those days was fine. Miriam Welby on The Odd Couple. I love both the guys and everybody on that show, although Tony Randall could be a little prickly. I was just supposed to do one episode, and I was supposed to be a blind date for him. We meet at a restaurant, and we were doing a dress rehearsal, and bear in mind, I always get particularly nervous at dress rehearsals, and I couldn't remember my lines. He got very upset, and he started pounding on the table, saying, say your line, say your line. Jack Klugman say, Tony, relax, calm down, you're scaring her. At that point, I couldn't have told you my name. I was so scared. The next day, when he came in to do the full-on taping, in my dressing room was a bouquet. Not a large bouquet, but a pretty, very sweet, beautiful bouquet from Tony apologizing and thanking me for being on the show. It was the sweetest thing, and from that time on, he was just as nice to me as he could possibly be. Jack was a doll. We just had a wonderful, wonderful time together. Jack and Tony could make anything funny. They were perfectly matched for their characters. Jane Mulligan on Mulligan Stew. Joanna Lee, a very talented woman who had been an actress herself, and a very good writer, probably a better writer than an executive to a certain extent, and I'm not meaning that to be critical. Her forte was writing. Told me that the story that she was writing up for the last minute we were filming, and if there was a mistake made, I would have to fault the network only in that when they did the 2-hour movie, they did it in the summer and aired it in August. Joanna had hoped that it would be a mid-season replacement series, which give her time to write all the scripts. Well, the movie went on the air, had huge ratings, and they announced a series for the fall, and she didn't have any time to write. So she was writing up to the day that was shot. The shows were literally being cut and shipped overnight to the network, and she was just going crazy. Carol Lambert on Please Stand By. By the time I got involved, Please Stand By had already been sold into syndication, and I was replacing someone. I don't know who, and it was for 22 episodes. The fact it was 22 episodes guaranteed, I said I'd do it. I'd had it with the network pulling the plug all the time. So as long as I had a little security, I had a really great time. It was cute, it was fluff, and I was perfectly lovely year, but I don't know whatever happened to it. As Susan Baxter on The New Adventures of Beans Baxter. Getting the part was fun, though I just can't say that about most audition processes. I don't like them much, and I'm not good at them. But for this one, I signed all the contracts. I went into the scenes and left because you never want to see the other people auditioning for the part. Well, as it turned out, I was the only one who brought in, which was a nice honor. Barry Diller, then head of Fox, was a fan of mine, and he was the one that said, okay, it's her. Gladys Peterson on Get a Life in 92. I was given the script very quickly because they were starting the next day with the reading for the network. I mean, it had to be cast right then and there, and the casting director said, this character is the mother of a newspaper boy, and he lives at home. Sure, fine. Now, one of my sons had delivered newspapers from the age of 11 to about 13, so I had that in my head. I'm visualizing that in front, and I'm reading that with my mind, that in mind in the office with the producers, one of whom was Chris Elliott. When I got home, I was told that I got the part, and I should come in the next day to read with the whole cast in front of the network. I didn't realize she was in that much stuff. And I'd never heard a lot of the last ones at all, to be honest with you. Then again, like in the 90s and late 80s, I was kind of like in a drunken haze, so that's probably why. Have you guys heard of any of these other than the obvious? Let me know in the comments below, and I appreciate it. All I got for you here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I know we all love Elinor. So here's hoping you love this too. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video. You guys have a great, great day. God bless you, and I'm praying for you.